Right then guys, I thought I'd make a video showing how to remove some of these parts so we can get the Evo Tech tail tidy fitted and remove the stock one because it's a bit big and it protrudes out. So the instructions are a bit vague, but these three cables here are actually down the back of there, which you can't get access to. So rear seat cowls off, main seats off, and then this is a bit of a pain to get off. So you've got little pop rivets there, which are these here. To get them out, when it focuses, you just depress the middle in, just pop them in, and then you can pull them out. There's two, one on each side. Then you've got some 3mm Allen bolts in there, which come out pretty easy. Now, underneath here, you can just see there a bit of daylight. That's where the clip is. Now, it's these here. These little clips. So what you've got to do is you've got to depress that middle section in. Depress that middle section in, and they're fitted like that. So you need to get a long screwdriver, push that up where my fingernail is, and then while that's pushed up, get another screwdriver and try and locate around there and pop out. So it is a bit of a faff, but two long screwdrivers. First one, push that middle bit up. You can just see it sticks out slightly. So push that, put that up, and then the clip will be facing that way. Just put a screwdriver back of there and pop it open. So just to give you an example what I used around here. So I used a couple of long screwdrivers like that. They're about 300mm long, and then once they're popped, just some little grabbers like that, like bent pliers, pincers. You just grab hold of it and pop it out. They are a faff, but they do come out. So once they're off, this then comes off. And again, that clip there, this one there, is pushed into there. Just be really gentle easing that up. Just pop it up nice and gentle, tease it out, and it does pop out like that. The next thing you need to do is get to these cables down here. So if you look at the back, you've got three cables here. So two for the indicators left and right, and then you've got one for the rear light. So they feed down here and go in to this here. So these, just tease them out. They do pop out, so you can get access to this side of the cables. So just tease them out and pop them out so you can get access to them. Once they're popped out, you're left with a bundle of cables. Left indicator, right indicator, and then rear light. So disconnect these one by one, making sure it's the correct ones, following these down, because there is another cable which runs underneath and down here, which I think is for that exhaust valve flap servo motor. So just make sure you're doing the correct one, but once this is out, pretty easy to access. To get them out, so they're popped in like that, just put your thumb on this section here, that depresses down, and then that pops out. So you've got that to do times 3. Actually, once you've done this one here, that's one clip where you depress to pull out. But when you get onto the other ones, which is the indicators, you'll see these are slightly different, they pop in. So what you've got to do is, further down there, you've got to put a screwdriver in, and you've got to lift. It's just a bit hard to get to try and pull it out. You can see there's like a little clip there. So you put your screwdriver in, like that, and then you lift it up and that'll allow it to pop out. As you can see there, little screwdriver in, lift that up, and then them two little pins will pop out. So once that's done, you should be left with your rear light, which runs down, and then you'll have two other ones for your indicators. They're disconnected. I must say, but I think Evotech need to do better with them instructions. They're really poor instructions. They're like photocopies of photos from back in 80s. They should be doing videos and stuff like that, or a lot clearer diagrams and pictures, because the ones what you actually download from the website, they don't make head or tail of what you're actually doing really. I've had to just sort of guess and work myself through this, googling things, looking on YouTube. You pay a bit of a premium as well for these Evo Tech stuff. I mean, this were 185 quid, which is a lot of money. It is a premium product. It does look like it will fit well together in the finished article, will look good, but yeah, it needs to be a little bit better with the instruction side. It won't take much either. So once you've removed these 4 bolts, you've got one there, one there, one there, one there. They are quite tight to get at. Size wise, you've got a 10mm and so you've got 10mm nuts either side. They are quite tight. They take a bit of effort to crack off actually, but once they're cracked off, unscrew, and then that's it. You're left with that complete removal of the stock tail tidy, which is over here. As you can see there, that was pushed up underneath there, 4 bolt holes, then this pops out. There's your cables, runs down the side. So the next part is to remove the indicators and the other bits and pieces from this. As you can see there, that's all to remove. And once that's removed, we can then start building the Evotech one. But yeah, bit of a faff to sort of get out that. When you know how, it's not too bad to be fair, but yeah, the Evotech instructions not the best. Could do better. So the next part is to remove and disassemble the stock one. So there's an Allen bolt there, and then 2 this side. I'm going to remove that plastic section here, so it'll then give me access to these nuts for the indicators. The size for this is 4mm, I think. 4mm. So yeah, let's get them off. You've also got to undo these 2 nuts here, because the cables are trapped downside. So once you've disconnected them 3 Allen bolts to get this free, just do these 2 bolts to give you access to the cables that run down the side. So there is actually a 3rd bolt to undo, that one there in the middle. You could get the wires pulled through, but I didn't want to damage out. So yeah, just unbolt it all, and then you're left with this. So you've got your main components now, what you're trying to get off. This is what these you're going to reuse. Obviously you get a new rear light. Just remember which one's right and left. It's by looking at it. The grey one is the left. So yeah, the grey one's the left. So yeah, next part is to unbolt these and get these ready to go on the Evotech ones. So undo this nut here, which is a 10mm, that just unbolts. Then you lift with this configuration. So this metal insert goes all the way through there. So just tease this out first, so that pops off, and then there's a little bit of a notch, so it pulls around this switch, plug, sorry, and that'll allow you to pull that out more freely. And then you're left with your indicator ready to go for the Evo Tech one. So undo this nut here, which is a 10mm, that just unbolts. Then you lift with this configuration. So this metal insert goes all the way through there. So just tease this out first, so that pops off, and then there's a little bit of a notch, so it pulls around this switch, plug, sorry, and that'll allow you to pull that out more freely. And then you're left with your indicator ready to go for the Evo Tech one. Right, so now we've got all the components out for the Evo Tech stuff. Brackets, new wiring loom for rear light. It's all there. OEM indicators. You still do need some of the OEM fixings as well. So I'll start putting this together and get back to you soon. So once you've threaded the new light through the metal fixings, there's two little nuts what come with that kit. It's about a 6 or 7mm, so I've just used it on the end of a screwdriver because it is quite tight and narrow. Just put them on, nip them up and tight, and then that's that made together. So once you've threaded the new light through the metal fixings, there's two little nuts what come with that kit. It's about a 6 or 7mm, so I've just used it on the end of a screwdriver because it is quite tight and narrow. Just put them on, nip them up and tight, and then that's that made together. So then get the left and right side of the new indicator mounting brackets. So this is the Evotech one. I've just followed what it says on the instruction manual for this point, which is pretty self-explanatory to be fair. So it goes that way around. You've got your rubber moulding, second one, cable pass through, then you've got your indicator which goes into there. Once you've got all that pushed through, that's to go back on, clip it all back together, and then you use the OEM bolt again to fasten it all down. So clip all them together, get them all fastened up, and that's one side done, and then you repeat it for the next side. So once all assembled, you should have something like this. Left indicator all screwed up, nipped up, your new light, your bracket and cable, and again right hand side all screwed up, nipped up, ready to be mounted onto the new brackets itself onto the bike. So I'll get on with that and then come back. So the next stage is to put the two indicators together with the rear number plate. They just screw together. There's two little Allen keys what comes with that pack again. Just screw together, make sure it's all lined up, nipped up and tight. That's that. That's that, the main bit done. Just one thing to point out, when you get to the part where you put in the rear light through the hole at the rear, just don't tighten these up too tight. Leave these a couple of mil off because it slides in through the side, through the inside of it, and then these actually clamp everything together. There's no actual fixings for the light. As you can see there, it's all part of it now, but yeah, just leave them two Allen bolts a bit loose before you nip them up 100% when you get to this stage. So once all put together, you should have something like this. To be fair, these last few bits, the instructions are pretty easy to follow. They tell you what to do. There's no really to trip you up or out like that. So yeah, quite a heavy duty bit of unit, to be fair. Once it's all together, it's got a bit of weight to it. Feels quite robust. Everything's machined to a really good standard. Goes together really good. Yeah, you can't really fault it really. It's what you're paying the top price for, aren't you? Stainless steel bolts there to finish it off on inside. So the next part is to offer it up to the underside and start getting it back on the bike. So once pushed into place, you should have something that looks like that. Again, fits in perfectly. Cables poke up through there. Again, fits really well. You've got your cables coming through for your rear light, which you do get another loom. It does come with this pre-made loom to connect it all together. Everything's a little bit longer now. That's probably what, 200mm longer than what it needs to be, but I'm just going to wrap these up. The box does come with some cable ties, so I'm just going to wrap them together, put them neat and tidy before we finish it off. Before I actually bolt it all together, I'm just going to put everything into the wiring harness, just make sure that everything's working, lights is working, left is left, right is right with indicators, and then once that's done, I'll go to the next stage. So I've temporarily put these together now. So these are like bullet connectors in the middle for your rear light. I've just pushed them in, they're not nipped up, I've not put the heat shrink over or like that. I'm going to test it off first before I do that. Again, with instructions, it doesn't say but these need crimping, but they are a bit loose, so they just want nipping up. I presume this is heat shrink, I might be wrong, but yeah, it might not be heat shrink, but no, I don't think it is, I think it's rubber. But yeah, there's no very vague instructions again, it just tells you to clip it together, but they're a bit loose, they could do a nip him up, and they need to be placed over. I'll probably put a bit of electrical tape over it as well, just to make sure that it's all neat and tidy. So yeah, let's see if they work. So that's fired up. No errors on there. Let's have a look round the back. So we've got lights are on. No light coming from the rear for some reason. Strange, I thought that would be on. Let's try the indicators. So yep. Left indicator, left indicator. Let's try the right one. So right indicator, right indicator. Good. We'll try the hazards. So hazards both on. Yep. They're all working. Looks really nice. Turn them off. I just put big main beam on. So I'm unsure why this isn't working. Everything's clipped together. Does the bike need to be on? Does the bike need to be on to give it power? I would have thought it would have been on by now. Everything's clipped together. Oh, no, not working. I'll fire the bike up, see if that brings it on, but yeah, strange why that's not on. So I'll just fire it up. No, so even firing it up don't get that light working. I'm not sure why. I'll have a play with these connectors and see if I've done something I shouldn't have done, but at least indicators are working. So guys, we now have a working rear light, and I'll tell you what the problem was. Everything will connect together as per instructions and as you would do, colour to colour, but if you look at these, something is not wired up correctly. whether it's within the fitting, what's not the right way around, or whether it's the actual light unit. But yeah, if you try it red to red and black to black and it doesn't work, just swap these around, so you've got black to red, red to black. Obviously someone who's been knocking these up hasn't been following the correct instructions or has got them mixed around. But yeah, if it don't work, just swap them over. Again, you think these will be checked by Evotech for the price you do pay for them. Something to note, but yeah, one to watch out for, and just don't get a little shock like I did then. Right guys, you might remember in the last video when I was showing you this, I actually touched them together and got a bit of a spark and a bit of a shock. I did actually see the lights at the front flicker. I didn't think out of it, but when I then tried to turn on the ignition again, the dash was absolutely dead. There were no lights. The bike could fire up, but I had no dash on. The indicators won't work. Everything at the back were dead. As you can see now, everything's working. Inside here, you've got some fuses, and it with the fourth 7.5, it actually blown. So you can see there, it's blown the filament inside. Now luckily for me, because I thought I'd just broken my brand new bike, Honda kindly put some spares inside. So I am short of 7.5 fuse, but it's now fixed. So one thing to note, make sure that your ignition's off. I probably should be disconnecting the battery, to be fair, but lessons learned. Everything's back connected now. I'm not going to be disconnecting it. Dash is working, indicators work as they should do, rear lights working. So yeah, thank God. It's time to put it all back together and put it all back as one. But yeah, close call. Right, so as you can see, just a bit of a black electrical tape to go over that to keep it all tight and waterproof and together, so it still looks OEM. Put a little bit down here as well just to match in with that. But yeah, that's all in, back connected. I've tested it again, everything's working as it should do. So yeah, time to tidy it up fully. Right guys, that is all now back together. Everything pushed in, clipped in. I've just put a couple of cable ties there. I've like looped it back and back on itself again because they were about 200mm too much. Put a couple of cable ties on just to keep it tidy. That's for me Optimate. If anyone wants to fit an Optimate, you can get it through the middle of here. That feeds all the way through underneath here. It is easier to do it without this cowling on, but you can do it with it. Just got to feed it through, and it's tucked away down here then, nice and neat. So yeah, all back together. Everything works. I've just tested it all. All these bolts, these are difficult to get back in because it's so tight, but yeah, you can get it in, just take your time. But yeah, all looks neat and tidy, very OEM. Can't really tell it's aftermarket. All goes together really nice, fits together, clips together, really sturdy and strong as well. Next bit to do is put all your plate on. You do get a couple of extras, so depending where you want to fix them, you can put them on. That fastens underneath, so you can put reflectors on. You get all your screws and stuff for your number plate. But yeah, that's basically what it looks like now. Yeah, difficult. I mean, say 1 is easy, like changing a screw, and 5 is complex, where you're working with loads of different components and stuff like that. I reckon that's probably a 2 to a 3. Just need to take your time with it. Does work, just need to take your time, don't rush it, because you don't be breaking any of these fixings and brackets and stuff like that. Just take your time and it all comes together and looks pretty smart once done. So that's the rear middle cowling back on. Just watch these clips what are underneath here where the little black clips were. I just put a bit of WD-40 on them just so they slipped in and out neatly. Just tease one side in, take your time with it. It's gone back together pretty good, that. Can't tell it's been off, to be fair. So I'm going to put the black poppers back in there, your 2 Allen bolts, and then underneath there we're going to be putting them awkward little black things in. Right, there we go, all done. Seat back on, tail tidy, rear seat cowl back on. That's the Optimate just poked through because it goes on charge and I can take it off and plug it in. Oh, let's dash works. Put the hazards on. In fact, we'll just do left and right. There we go. So yep, all on. Lights on. Indicators are on. No issues with lights, no flickering or out like that. So yeah, looks good. Looks really smart. Cleans the back end up. Makes it look a bit more neater compared to the stock one. So yeah, thank you.